So referee Danny Mars asks us the question, why do you bully him when you're setting up Fight Factory? How do you respond to that?
It's not true. I don't bully him. And if he thinks that I do, it's because he's not really doing anything. Just going around talking.
Wow, a referee going around talking. Danny, I don't even know where to go with that, mate. So when next time you're at show together, you can take that with each other. I'm just going to say that. So we're talking about, say that again, sorry, mate.
Yeah, he's a good lad, though, is Danny. He's a good lad, good ref.
He's a great lad. So we're talking, of course, to Jason Morgan. We got loads to talk about: Fight Factory, New Age, all that and in between. But enough rambling on. Let's get into the intro. So, Jason, we're on Saturday, my man. How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Went through a couple of training sessions earlier on in the week, which was good. Try and get down there at least once a week. I was there today, in fact, actually, but just watching and, just seeing what the guys are up to.
Awesome. With everything you do, obviously, working and training and stuff like that, do you get time to, wind down and, chill out?
Say that again, sorry.
So when you're training and obviously working and stuff like that, do you get the chance to, chill out a little bit, or is it always all systems go?
Yeah, plenty of time to chill. Obviously, you got work, wrestling, gym and stuff. I am fairly busy, but take the time to chill and game and stuff,
Oh, go on. What's the go-to games?
Mainly Overwatch and also Rocket League. That's it, pretty much.
Rocket League. You lost me at Rocket League.
Yeah, it's just quick and easy, isn't it? I'm not very good there, but I enjoy it.
I don't mind Overwatch. That's probably a really good game, so you kind of earn me respect with that. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of Rocket League. But people listening might be. I'm just going to say that. But each to their own, right?
Yeah.
You just obviously had your Fight Factory show and stuff like that. How was that?
Yeah, it was really good. Wrestled against JOC. Sorry, dog's here already. No. It was a really good card. We had a good turnout, and it was just a good one. It was every match was in the cage, which you don't really see very often. It was like a bit of a challenge to try and make everything different. Every match different. There was one match which was Anarchy. There was about 9 of them in there, I think, and they were all just lumping each other, which was nice to see.
Wow, how do you get 9 people in a steel cage? How challenging is that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I wasn't part of it, but yeah, they did all right.
They did. And if fans going to watch, how can fans go watch that show back?
It'll be on the demand service, which is I can't remember what it's called now. I'll get a link out or something. It's Your Fight Site. That's the one. Video on demand. So yeah, you just subscribe.
Awesome. So if you actually send me that link, we'll put it in the description of this video, so fans can obviously jump straight from this video to go and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be out yet, but there's a back catalogue of previous shows and stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. So we're talking obviously about your career, man. In wrestling and stuff like that. So every wrestler has a story. How does your story begin? And I'm talking from a fan's point of view at the minute.
Okay, so first got into wrestling when I was quite young. I remember my dad would bring videos back. I think one of the first ones I remember was it must have been a Survivor series. So the 4-on-4, and I was just captivated by the costumes and stuff. I'm sure I remember some guys dressed in gold. Is it Los Conquistadors or something? And just loved it from there, really. What it's like at school, all the boys, you all fight each other and stuff like that. Growing up, it was Kane, Undertaker, Stone Cold, The Rock and stuff, and just the best era of wrestling in my opinion. So yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, and Undertaker for me, that's probably one of my absolute prime Joe Undertakers as well. So yeah, incredible that you said the Undertaker. So how do you go from like watching it as a fan to basically becoming a wrestler?
Well, I worked with KD, Kieran, and he knew I was a fan of wrestling. So he said to me, "Oh, you should come watch a show. Come watch a show." So I eventually did, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." And then he moved on to, "Oh, you should try it out." I had one session before we got locked down. So then, waiting like the whole 2 years or whatever it was, like eager to get back into it. So as soon as the doors were open again, I jumped straight at the chance to get involved, and I've not stopped since. So it's good.
Yeah, it is. It's great. And have you always obviously trained at Fight Factory? Is that the one you've obviously primarily trained at?
Yeah. So it's Dutch who runs it there. He's like the head coach. Put on a few seminars and stuff with other people and that, which they're always good to get a different insight. But it's just do like four sessions a week, all of mixed ability. So really good down there at the Fight Factory Pro Wrestling Fitness Center.
Yeah, 100%. And there's some incredible, obviously, talent. I mean, like I said, you mentioned KD. There's obviously Lenny. There's obviously Jack Maxwell recently. And there's incredible talent pool there. You've got to be like proud, obviously, working with guys like that.
Yeah, it's really good. We've got quite a big roster actually. Like just the last show that we had was like I say, it was absolutely stacked. The card was, so there's plenty of people that are like really good that are like missing out. It's I've not wrestled like many. Sorry, this dog's doing my head in. Sit down. Yeah, sorry, where was I? Go away. Dog. Plenty of talent there. Reese and Rogan, they're probably the best tag team in the country right now. KD is just absolutely incredible, athletic, plays the character of a piece of shit really well. And Hayden's just versatile. He does his hardcore stuff. He does his comedy stuff. That's Dutch, by the way, Hayden. Mm-hmm. And he can do the hard hitting stuff as well. And
yeah, like I said, I mean, there's some incredible talent and stuff like that. And the two venues, obviously, you perform at is the X Church. That's obviously in Gainsborough. Do you know how that all came about? Obviously, like performing there.
What we're at the X Church?
Yes.
I've actually got no idea. No, I just turned up one day. There was like, "Oh, we're wrestling in a former church." I was just like, "Okay." That's a great venue. I love wrestling at Gainsborough just because we got really like loyal fan base there, and it's just really good nights there. It's freezing, but really good nights.
Do you know what? I went there and I can't actually remember if it were cold or not.
It will have been, man. It's awful in like November, December time.
Yeah. So talk about the New Age. Obviously, like, how did the whole group come about?
So KD is the leader. He was a good guy for a long time, and he wanted to have a run at a bad guy. And he wanted to form like a faction. I think I was only a couple of months in at the time, and he said that he wanted me to be a part of it. We had Jack Maxwell, Benjamin Quill, and Flex Buffington all join it. So we kind of ran it as like a heel group we're still going. It's been going like 2+ years now, I think. And yeah, we're just kind of like the like dominant heel faction, I guess.
Yeah, and I've got to ask, face or heel for you, or is your character always going to be a heel?
I think I'll always be a heel. Like I try to be a face in training sometimes, and I'm just not very good at it. Not cut out for it.
You just like being an asshole, and I don't mind swearing, by the way. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
So talk about obviously the in-ring style and stuff like that, because I'm a massive fan of the Powerhouses. How did that all come about?
I don't. You go in, you learn the basics and stuff, and then you kind of just moving around and stuff like that. And just Dutch was just like, he really liked how aggressive I was with like my movements and stuff, the physicality, and so I basically just tried to just keep that part of it up, and just be as aggressive and like hard hitting as I can. Like don't mind getting hit back, and everything is like safe as well. So you can lever people like on the back pretty much as hard as you can, and as long as you're not rocking them in the jaw, nobody's really complained so far. So
that's the key thing, obviously, and you probably agree with this. When performing, it's also about safety as well. Is that fair?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. You don't want to be in there with somebody who isn't safe, because like what we do, you can get injured quite easily. You know what I mean? Like take a front bump wrong and your wrist is broken, for example. Like accidents happen, obviously. There's been a few. Like JOC dislocated his knee by doing a suicide dive to the outside. Yeah, it was so that wasn't great for him. But yeah, so you always want to keep safe. But yeah, we've got a good bunch of lads, and yeah, I trust all of them.
100%. Have you had actually many injuries yourself?
No, not really. Just a couple of rough landings, a couple of times on the head, which isn't great. So a few neck issues, but yeah, other than that, I've been fine. So
awesome. So these next few questions, obviously, a lot of people and stuff like that. Now, you mentioned before we came on the air, you listened to the Jack Maxwell interview. So I'm going to throw this question at you, which I asked Jack was, what do fans not know about you?
Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't ask this one. I'd say they probably don't really know what I sound like much, because I've never got on the microphone, and I don't really want to either. Bit of a shy boy. So yeah, probably just that. Like it's basically like you come in, you do your match, you like beat somebody up, and then it's back behind the curtain. So yeah, maybe they don't know too much about my personality, other than the fact it's like I'm basically just a bully.
And that's weird though, because I have seen some of your promo work, and it is really, really good. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, that's because I can do it in my living room and nobody's watching. So,
would you say then like you're your own worst critic in a way then?
Oh yeah, definitely. I always rewatch my matches back like 5-6 times, and each time you pick up on a little thing, you're just like, I could have done that better. But then when you get a different perspective, you'll just be like, like I always get feedback from Dutch like as soon as possible, basically, and I'll be like, oh, I think this bit was a bit shit, and then he'll be like, oh no, like if you look at it from this way, it was actually really good. So I think most wrestlers are their own worst critics, though, to be fair.
Yeah, I think everyone who has sports has said the exact same thing, but I think it's always like you like give everything when you perform. Is that probably fair?
Sorry, you cut out then. Say that again.
So so everyone says that though. Do you know, like the critic wise, that they always want to like put on a good show, so that they beat themselves up when they think something goes wrong, but in hindsight, it's actually correct.
Yeah, I mean, we're always told like if something goes wrong, it's only between you and the other wrestler. We're the only ones that know how it should have gone. So as long as you can either cover mistakes, you recover from mistakes, or if you miss a spot entirely, it was only the two of you knows. And so as long as it doesn't take anything away from the performance as a whole, you just kind of should move on. But yeah, when you know how good something could have been, if it doesn't quite come out like that, you can be a little bit disheartened by it.
100%. So my previous interviews, a fan sent this question in, but I'm going to propose it to yourself as well, because I thought it was an interesting one. Is it better to have a good look in wrestling or a good brand?
Well, you'd say the good look like would draw somebody in, but you can't just get by on a look, can you? There needs to be something behind it, which is I'd say my look is all right. I need to just try and work on adding layers to the character and stuff like that. So which I'm trying to do. I'm getting like feedback from multiple sources and advice and stuff. So always trying to improve.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one because even I'm thinking, going like you can look at both sides of the argument with that one, couldn't you?
Yeah. I think like you definitely like as a wrestler, you kind of want to be like a larger than life. So the look is very important because you want to be, not that you have to be, but you want to be in relatively good nick, like looks wise, because the biggest and best they get noticed more, you would think. Not that you have to be like a big hulking giant to be a wrestler, obviously.
No, exactly not. So obviously with everything you've done in your career so far, what's some of your highlights when you look back going, I'm proud of
those? Myself and cousin Lenny, we had a really good feud over the junior heavyweight title like last year, because I ended up having that title for a long time, and we did like I think it was like 2 or 3 matches or whatever. Might just been 2, where he actually won, but we did a story where he was too heavy because obviously the junior heavyweight has a weight limit, so he was a bit overweight. So we did a thing where we'd bring out the scales and stuff. And it was just like he beat me, but the rug was pulled from the audience because it was like, oh, you're too heavy. So I retained the title, and then like through whatever we changed the rules. It was Flex Buffington. He actually changed the rules to make the weight limit a bit more. And just when it was finally Lenny got the 1, 2, 3, like he's so over with the crowd. Like just the pop it got was just incredible, and like part of that's down to me, but it's mainly him, and it was just incredible to see how into the fans, into it that the fans were, that they just wanted to see him win and also me lose, and that was probably my favorite moment in wrestling, to be fair.
Yeah, and you mentioned that feud there. That's obviously how I discovered yourself. So I'm really glad that, because it is a great. Also, the match on the YouTube channel is a great match and stuff like that. And like you said, I mean, you work with some great talent. Do you know what I mean? It's incredible.
Yeah. There's still plenty more that I'd like to work with as well. Like I've not had the chance to work with Jack Bennett yet. Do you know him? He's doing like deathmatch stuff, and in Japan. I haven't had a proper match with KD yet, which obviously us being best friends, I'm not sure how we'd go about it, but somewhere down the line, I'd look forward to that one.
Yeah, that would be one that really intrigues me, especially obviously when you like a group as well. So that'd be interesting how that'd pan out. So if that ever happens, I will be there. I'm just going to say that.
I think it will, because obviously we've known each other a long time. Friends outside of wrestling as well. So I'm looking forward to it whenever it does happen.
Stay tuned for that. So, being in the wrestling, like I said, as long as you have, what's the biggest thing you've learned? It could be in the ring, could be outside the ring.
Biggest thing I've learned, wrestling's like it's like the wrestling community is mainly all about like respect and etiquette and stuff like that. So that was kind of a big learning thing. You go in, you say hello to everyone. Obviously, it's just basic manners, but you don't always get that everywhere nowadays. So just that, and it's just about working for your opportunity and stuff. And just also like trying to improve, trying to get better, and then when you do get to a certain level, you help out the guys that are just coming through, which is it's always nice to do, to be able to be in that position to help others as well. So
100%. And me and a lot of wrestling fans always say, like, regardless of how long you've been in wrestling and stuff like that, you're always learning.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like a couple of weeks ago, I went to a different wrestling school just to do a session and like, get somebody else's perspective on, how I can also improve. So yeah, that was, it was a good session. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's some great training schools as well. I mean, there's so many. We could have a full hour on that, but that's one thing I like as a fan is the training schools in the UK as a whole. they're absolutely incredible. And like you mentioned there, they've all got their own perspective and stuff, but you're still basically learning.
Yeah. So yeah, it was Evo Wrestling Academy I went to, and it was Scotty Rourke that was the trainer. Obviously went in there. He didn't know who I was at all, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, I really like this that you do. Like, oh, but also try and do this or whatever." So yeah, I've taken that away, and like I say, it's all about trying to improve. So
exactly. So this next question again, obviously it stumps a lot of people, but it's not designed to. For people obviously who's not familiar with yourself, why should fans go check you out? This is kind of like to promote yourself a little bit.
Right. Okay. I'd say if you like, if I was to describe Jason Morgan, it would be aggressive, like powerful, like no nonsense, straight to the point, in and out, like methodical. It just like growing up, I always liked, the bigger guys and the bad guys. So, like obviously Kane, like Baron Corbin as well. I really like him. So like my moveset is basically just Kane's as well, basically, and just a shit Kane. Yeah, so life, yeah. It depends what you want from your wrestling, I guess. Like, I think with Fight Factory itself, there's so many different characters that we've got on the show. Got like Flex Buffington, who like draws a six pack on his stomach. He's good for like he's really good at everything, but he's very, very good at the comedy side. You got Butcher and Lenny, Cowboys, that they're just in there, fucking around and stuff. Obviously, they've got the wrestling skills behind it as well. And then Reese and Rogan, obviously, about those guys.
Mm-hmm.
They just come in and wreck everybody, don't they? So yeah. Basically, if you like hard hitting wrestling, come and watch me, I guess.
Basically, what he's saying is, if you no nonsense, straight to the point, knock your head off, go check him out. That's what you're saying, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So obviously training and stuff like that. Do you get the chance to like watch wrestling from like a fan point of view right now?
Not really. I don't actually watch as much wrestling as I probably should. I basically watch like WWE just through Instagram reels. It's quite hard to get about. Two other shows that are in the UK as well. I think the last one I went to was probably GCW versus TNT in Liverpool, which was a couple of years ago now. But that was a good night. A good couple of shows actually. So yeah, from a fan point of view, not really, but like when you start wrestling, I kind of started watching it less. Like, do you know what I mean? Because you're not really a fan anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. That, like, because you're constantly training on it. It's like, why would I want to watch it when I'm actually doing it as not? I won't say like a hobby, but like doing it as like a profession.
Yeah, like I still watch bits and bobs, like to try and get ideas or whatever, or some kind of inspiration. Not trying to like straight up copy, but yeah, it's just I don't know, when you know how it's done, you kind of just become over critical of everything, I guess.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from and stuff like that. So here we are. Like I said, man, you've done so much obviously in your career so far. What's obviously next for you? What's obviously the goal, short term this year and probably long term?
Well, with it being Fight Factory based, I came in and it didn't take long. I got the academy title, then I got the junior title. So I kind of wanted to go up like a ladder, but I did kind of skip a step. And like now I'm heavyweight champion, which is great. I'm really glad that they've put the faith in me to do that. So it's kind of like I've ticked off the good one. I'd quite like to win the tag titles because I don't do enough tag wrestling really, but I do enjoy it because it's nice to go out there with your mate kind of thing. But yeah, for the rest of the year, just obviously keep the heavyweight title for as long as I can. Get into work like other people, people that haven't worked yet. That'll be good. You know, Jack Maxwell being one, actually. We was in the faction together, but never actually did anything together other than like accompanying each other at ringside. So it'd be cool to do something with him. Long term, I don't know. Just want to basically get better every time I go out there. I don't really have like aspirations of getting myself out and about. Just like I'm happy at Fight Factory, but I do enjoy it when we do the Fight Factory versus shows. So I think we might have a couple of those coming up, which will be pretty cool. So, you know, get other companies in and go against some of their guys. It'd be good.
Yeah, absolutely. So before obviously you perform and obviously you go out in front of a crowd, how do you get yourself like into a zone? Is it music? Is it stretches? Is it like someone who's like your interest music? That's it. You're in a zone. How do you obviously get into that actual like mindset?
I'd say I'm like, other than my very first time where I nearly actually bottled going out there, I've been like quite chilled when, you know, before going out. So like I don't have much of a ritual. Like I've obviously I wear the makeup and stuff, so I kind of, you know, just get ready, put the makeup on. Should probably stretch more than I do. But yeah, just kind of like, you know, going over like the match, making sure we've got everything down. So yeah, not much of a ritual, to be fair.
That's interesting. Talk about obviously the makeup, because that's obviously unique and it's very unique to you, and that's obviously what stood out for me as a fan. How did that all come about?
So basically, like I played a, you know, no nonsense like tough guy or whatever. I decided to dye my hair blonde, and then it kind of, I don't know, you know, just going out there as a, you know, with blonde hair, it was a bit like, oh, maybe it don't look as tough anymore. So I just played about with the makeup, and I was just like, yeah, this looks all right. Shall I go for it? And you know, nobody else on Fight Factory was doing that at the time. So yeah, it's kind of my thing now. And it was quite nice. One time a kid came up to a show and he had the same makeup on, so it was good.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So, do you have any stories which like stick with you? Obviously, throughout obviously your career, it could be fan related, could be something behind the scenes. Is it like a story which like sticks with you, which you can share?
Yeah. Well, like the best kind of times in terms of like having a laugh and that are like when we go on a camp show. You know, because everything's just, you know, they're not like proper wrestling fans. You get to, you know, like loosen up a little bit. So like, yeah, just like memories from there. We did one where it was going down. I think it was like 3 cars or whatever in the van, and we had the Anarchy title, which is the hardcore 24/7 thing. So it was all just swapping the title, like doing it in the service stations. You know, I ended up getting it there, and then as soon as I walked out, got bopped around the head and, you know, lost it. And that's like kind of the daily thing, and we was doing it live. Another camp show. It was myself and Ben Butcher versus KD and Dutch, and we'd planned a chair spot. You know, like a proper steel chair, which was under the ring, but Ben Butcher unfortunately couldn't find it, so he had to get just like a chair from the crowd, which was just not a foldable one or anything. And then he sent KD into it, which was you know, it's quite funny watching that back.
Wow, I can just imagine how he actually landed as well with that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was funny, yeah, because he was trying to put it in between the ropes as well, and it's like a massive chair. Yeah, bless him.
That's incredible. Yeah. So, what would you say the biggest misconception is about a wrestler?
Biggest misconception. From a fan perspective, you're talking?
Yes.
Well, a lot of people think that you are the character, So if you're being a dickhead in the show, they will just automatically think you're a dickhead. Yeah, other than that, I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, straight to the point. That's how I like it. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. So when you come back from a match, how do you wind down? Do you know what I mean? Is there a way like you wind down, or do you just like just chill out? Is after you've finished a match, what's the process?
Well, once the show's over, you obviously got to pack down, but obviously, like before that, you just make sure everything was okay, like with the person you was working with. You kind of try and seek immediate feedback from whoever, and then it's basically just back home. And if there's any sort of footage available, I will like try and watch it as soon as possible, so everything's like, you know, fresh in the mind or whatever. But yeah, other than that, it's just you know, going back home to the wife. You know, she's really good. She's pretty much every show. So is my mum and sister. Dad pops along, so it's good to have that support. Yeah, it's just basically about getting back, and then usually I'm at work the next day, so not much of a wind down.
Yeah, what's it like going like to work the day after? Is that challenging?
It is a little bit, because like the wrestling shows, they're long days, and then you got another long day at work the day after. You know, potentially, you know, you could be feeling quite sore depending how the match went. Yeah, so yeah, I hate working the day after. It's not fun.
So one person we've obviously not talked about is Miss Rebecca. I mean, obviously she's the owner of Fight Factory. What's she like as a person? Because I've seen obviously clips and that, and I've heard so many great things about her. What's she like as a person?
Oh yeah, she's great. She like Fight Factory is kind of like, it's like this little family. She's like, there's Kaya, there's TJ, there's Ayan, and there's Madison. Like all the kids are involved with the wrestling company as well, which is really nice. And yeah, she's just a really nice person. Will do anything for you. She's you know, a trained nurse, so that's always good. If you've got anything, any injuries or whatever, she'll advise you and help you out. And you know, like they actually helped me like move house by letting me borrow the van and stuff. So they'll do anything for anyone.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you mentioned like a family, because that's one thing I don't hear a lot is like, you know, as a family show, do you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's so good to see all of them like doing their own little bit. And yeah, like I say, it's just everybody's like pulling in the same direction and stuff. Sorry, this dog. Yeah, everybody's pulling in the same direction, willing to help each other out. So it's nice.
Yeah. So you mentioned obviously Jack Maxwell earlier. Is anyone like?
Oh, sorry, you cut out again, man.
Sorry, you mentioned obviously Jack Maxwell earlier. Is anyone else you'd like to face?
What, from Fight Factory or just anywhere?
Anywhere?
Anywhere. Have you heard of Damien Corvin?
No, I have not. But I will check him out.
No. Yeah, he's big powerhouse from Ireland. He's very good. Saw him at GCW versus TNT, and he was just really good. There's Miles Kamen as well. He's very good. Seen him a couple of times. Great character, cocky heel, really good in the ring. Fight Factory wise, there is obviously I want that singles match with KD. Jack Bennett, not had one with him yet. And just, I mean, I've done a couple of matches with Ben Butcher, but you know, he's a close friend of mine, so I enjoy getting in the ring with him whenever I can.
Absolutely, mate. This has been an absolute blast. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. So, for people obviously listening, if they want to check out any Fight Factory stuff, all the links obviously in the description of this video. The promo video, which obviously you sent me. So, I'm going to play the image, and then you can promote it, my man. Here we go. So this is the upcoming show for you.
Okay, so yeah, Saturday, 29th of March, as you can see, X-Church, it's Gainsborough. We've got Suplex and Chill. FightFactoryWrestling.com for tickets. If you want to follow me, it's Jason Morgan 9301. Check out our stuff on YouTube, Fight Factory Wrestling, and video on demand, your fight site. Yeah, that's it.
And of course, I've just noticed that Ace Matthews is on that card.
Oh yeah, that'll be good. He's a great character.
Very unique, I'll say that.
Yeah, for sure.
Jason, is there anything else you'd like to promote and stuff like that, my man, before we head off?
No, that's it. All good.
Awesome. So one final thing from you, my man, is you can do the outro. So you can say anything you want, and I will hit the outro. Over to you.
Just go follow Fight Factory on all the socials. Come to a show if you're close by, and come check us out.